Hennig, Mr. Perfect. You know, everything in my life has been absolutely perfect. And it's a lot of people's dream to be perfect. But with me, see, it's no dream. It's reality. It's life. And take the simple game of bowling. It's everybody's dream to bowl the perfect game. Well, being Mr. Perfect, you sit back on the couch, you put your feet up, and you relax because you are going to witness the perfect. Hey, Curt Hennig fans. Hello and welcome to another episode of Nobody Beats Curt Hennig. Nobody. I'm your host, Mrs. Witchy Perfect. On our Perfect podcast today, we are going to watch along to AWA SuperClash. I think it was 2. What is this? Yeah, it is 2. And it was Curt versus Nick Bockwinkel for the title. And it has a very controversial ending. But let's get to our first clip, I guess you could say. I had heard this on Jim Cornette's show, and it bears repeating. It just seems like the more Ric Flair talks, the more he sticks his foot in his mouth. And it's just amazing to me how one could be this way, only because he just sounds so, snide about it, so pompous. And it's just, I get it that some wrestlers can't handle, not being wrestlers anymore. I get that. But Rick has taken it to a whole new level. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we're going to watch along together. And hopefully, you can't make this stuff up, guys. It's literally to the point of, I just can't believe Flair would say this stuff, but he did. He did. All right. Hope everyone can see that.
Speaking, Brian, of infotainment, what we examined on a previous show we did, what in the world that poor old Ric Flair may have been talking about when he put his foot in his mouth with the tweet to Jim Ross and trying to analyze what could have brought some statement like that on, or what was going on. And we weren't very successful in trying to figure out why he did it. But then he had already kind of apologized for it. But now you told me before we went on the air, he said something else, and I hadn't had time to read up on this.
Yeah, this is a brief update just to finish the story that we told on the last show. A bunch of the listeners were sending this over. Ric Flair on Twitter, June 4th, 2025. I try to be nice to everybody. God only knows that I've spent more money on spilt liquor in 1 year than people have in a lifetime.
What the?
I tried to be.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. Okay. So I just want to stop it there. So the fact that you're actually saying that, Ric Flair, that's not a good thing to be bragging about, first of all, on Twitter. Now, for those who know that Ric Flair kind of gotten some heat, we will go over that in some detail on episode 100, which I actually just recorded last week. So we'll go over it again during that time. That probably would come out in like August or July, like late July, August. But anyway, so we're here. And I can't say that I'm too surprised that he said this. I swear he has said this before. All right. He has said this on Twitter before, about, spilling drinks. I've spilled more drinks than you guys have actually drank in a year or whatever, or that most people have in a lifetime. Again, not the greatest thing to be bragging about on Twitter. Okay. So this was my thing. What I was kind of saying while this was playing, because I listen to this as I go back and forth to work. Now that I have a longer commute to work, I actually get to listen to this. So,
So big fan of the experience and the drive-through. So if you like Jim Cornette, you like to hear old wrestling stories, I guarantee that. And this is from his YouTube, which is just the Jim Cornette experience, I believe. Anyway, so to get to what he said, Ric Flair is bragging about, I've spilt more booze than you people have had in your lifetime, and I make $3 million at 76. Well, good for you, Rick. Although there's one teeny tiny little problem. You're an alcoholic. There's no other way to say this because he's literally bragging about it. You shouldn't be saying this on Twitter, Rick. You should be saying this to an AA meeting. And there ain't a person out there who would disagree with me. He literally got drunk, got kicked out of a pizzeria. He's had literally a whole lifetime worth of getting drunk and acting obscene and ruining people's lives. And literally, we just got done talking about the fact that he was going after Jim Ross because Jim Ross had brought up a story about a non-wrestling gentleman who was having a birthday party for his wife, and him and Jim Ross showed up, and he got slobbering drunk and acted obscene at this party because he always has to be center of attention. He always has to be the one in control. Well, sometimes, Rick, it's time to give up the ghost. You need to move on with your life and find out who your real name is. You need to find out who that real person is and go to an AA meeting because you're an alcoholic with a problem, a big problem. And everybody sees it. You don't have to get kicked out of a pizzeria. You don't have to get kicked out of such and such a bar, which I'm sure he's done many, many times because he was so slobbering drunk he don't remember what he did the previous night. I know of some ribs that got pulled on him by Curt, and he would deserve each and every one of them because that's ridiculous. That is so ridiculous that you literally act like a freaking fool at 76 and then you brag about it on X. No, what you need is you either need to be in an AA meeting or literally you need to come to terms, Ric Flair, with the fact that you are an alcoholic. Okay, now this will be in the future. So I'm thinking, end of July, maybe early. This will be broadcast end of June, probably July. But it still holds credibility that everyone who's anyone knows that Ric Flair has a problem. And I don't know who has to say or who has to stick up and say, look, Rick, you have a problem. You have a problem at 76 with alcohol and getting drunk and getting kicked out of establishments. You need an intervention. You need some kind of help. Whatever that is, you need it. Because this is ridiculous that you literally can't stop yourself from bragging about something you shouldn't be bragging about on Twitter. You literally went after Jim Ross because he had colon cancer. Well, Jim Ross couldn't help it. And as I said, you'll hear on the episode 100, eventually when it comes out, you will hear that it's appalling what he has been doing, what he's been saying on Twitter. Maybe, Stevie Richards is right. Maybe you need to stay off of Twitter, Flair. You need to stay off of it. You need to move on and figure out who, not the Nature Boy Ric Flair, but whatever your real name is. I don't know his name and I'm not going to look it up. But his real name is Rick. Okay. Kind of like Rick Rude, just spelled differently. But Ric Flair needs to find out who he is. He's not his character, and he's blurring the lines between that. What exactly? Okay, so we've known for years who the Nature Boy Ric Flair is, but who is Ric Flair? Who is it when he's not his gimmick? He doesn't know because he's still living like the Nature Boy Ric Flair. He's still living like he is the god of wrestling, and he ain't. You're not even wrestling. You're not even in wrestling. Has anyone seen him on AEW lately? I'm being serious. I'm being dead serious. Has anyone seen him on AEW television lately? Other than these quirky and useless, these woo wings, and these drinks that nobody freaking wants to drink because they know it's probably poisoned. And Ric Flair wants to stamp his name on anything because that's how he makes his money. Yeah, okay, so I'm not the one out there getting brand names, stamped with my name on it when we know it's poison, by the way. We know for a fact that Ric Flair literally, he was literally, nobody wanted his stuff. No one wanted that woo drink or whatever it was called, or the woo wings. Nobody was buying the stuff. And yet he was stamping his name onto that. Nobody wanted it. People were buying cases of these drinks and then just to get a picture with Ric Flair, and then they were literally getting refunds for it. They didn't want them. So yeah, okay, you could be making $3 million a year. Whoopee. For what? You're a joke. You're a joke of the industry, Ric Flair. You don't know how to be a civilian after being the nature boy for so long. Okay, I get that. But then you need mental help. Either you have dementia, and I know you're an alcoholic. So which is it? Which is it, Flair? Bragging about the fact that you should be in an AA meeting literally is not something to brag about on Twitter. Okay, so you like to have beers, but you literally are getting kicked out of establishments and making a fool of yourself, and you're 0 for 5. You've cheated on every wife you've ever had. And Rick, if I can give you some advice from a woman's standpoint, cheating not a big thing for a woman. We kind of don't like that. We kind of don't like when you like to stick your dick in someone else. What was so wrong with sticking your dick in your wife? That's why you married her, isn't it? No, because you still think you're the nature boy, Ric Flair. So you have to be, that womanizer that you claim to be and that your gimmick was for so many years. And that's why you can't keep a wife. No offense. Well, no offense taken, because I'm sure he doesn't give a crap of what a peon like me says. But you have a serious problem. Your kids and grandkids should literally be getting you into AA. Because this is the fact that you literally were belligerent in a pizzeria. You can't even be trusted in a pizzeria where you get pizza in a restaurant. You can't even be trusted to act like a real human being instead of a belligerent alcoholic idiot in a pizzeria. Something very calm, very, it's very family oriented. And you sat there and tried to fight as if you were some big, pompous asshole wrestler. Guess what, Rick? You're nothing. And karma is a bitch, isn't it? Just like you guys will hear on episode 100. Karma, boy, that's really kicking the pants, isn't it? Because not only did you go after JR for colon cancer, but then it turned right around and smacked you in the face, didn't it, Ric Flair? Because you have skin cancer. Again, nothing fatal. It's a good thing that JR was able to have surgery to get rid of the colon cancer. My grandmother passed away from colon cancer. So Jim Ross is very lucky. Jim Ross is very lucky to be not only alive right now, but he's very lucky that he has the ability to get such a surgery. My grandmother didn't have that luxury. And how dare you go after a man who is saying he's seeking attention for colon cancer. Right. Was my grandmother, was she actually seeking attention because she passed away from it, Rick? You done pissed off everybody. And you can say, well, you just need a little bit of Ric Flair. Trust me, Rick, I'd rather, self-delete myself. That's putting it nicely. I wouldn't sleep with you if you were the last man on the earth. Unless you SA me, allegedly. And trust me, you wouldn't want to deal with my man after you did that. Because he would literally make your life a living, you know what. That's all I'm saying. But you have this pompous Ric Flair who he thinks he's the nature boy. He thinks he can do whatever he wants and women are going to fall at his feet. Guess what, Rick? You are 76 years old. I doubt seriously women want anything to do with that flabby body of yours, except for the fact that you have $3 million and you make it a year. And that's because you put your name on shitty products that nobody fucking wants. Nobody wants them. Nobody wants them. All right, we're going to hear more of this.
If he was being nice to everybody, wouldn't he give that money to like hungry children or what? I mean, how does that one thing go with the other? I'm not sure, but start from the beginning. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just...
I try to be nice to everybody. God only knows that I've spent more money on spilt liquor in 1 year than people have in a lifetime. I tried being nice. And this is my last message to everyone. I've got more money than I've got time. Go F yourself, haters. No comment needed. Live with it. Actually learn to love it. Get back to me again when you make $3 million a year at the age of 76.
Again, not something to brag about, especially when you're not on wrestling. When is the last time anyone has seen Ric Flair on AEW? He still is under contract to them. Surprisingly enough. You are still under contract to Tony Khan, and yet no one has seen you on AEW TV. It's just for your shitty products that you're trying to push onto the public that is probably poison. Again, not something to brag about. I don't care if I make $3 million a year when I'm 76. You know what I do care about? My man, my kids, my dad, my family is more important than making $3 million a year. I mean, yeah, that'd be nice. But I'm not going to hold my breath. But why don't you be proud of your kids, Rick? Oh, that's right. Your kids suck. Your kids literally hate your guts. Your kids can't stand you. Your kids literally want nothing. They want to be as far away from your image or your likeness as possible. Charlotte Flair at least has the audacity or the ability to not even mention your name. And she's not even on TV right now. Funny that she's not even on TV right now. Has anyone seen Charlotte Flair lately? I haven't seen her. She may have been on a couple weeks ago, but she was no way a part of the Money in the Bank. She was not a part of, I don't see anything about Night of Champions. I don't see her going to Saudi Arabia. I don't see her in King or Queen of the Ring. Maybe she will be. Who knows? Nia Jax was last year. She was a Queen of the Ring. But that's because Charlotte was hurt. But Charlotte has come back now. Is she still hurt? Does she say anything about Ric Flair? No. She doesn't even really acknowledge anything about Ric Flair. So all I'm saying is this is not something to brag about on X. Okay, so you make $3 million and what? Your kids hate you. You're getting a 5th divorce. You're getting divorced from your 5th wife. I think, honestly, it should be illegal for Ric Flair to get married. Because you know he's going to cheat on them. He's cheated on every freaking wife he's ever had. Like I said earlier, chicks don't kind of dig that, Flair. chicks don't kind of dig that. And the only reason why someone would sleep with you anyway is because you have this. Because you make $3 million a year. How does that feel, Flair? How does that feel to know that women only want you for money? Not for your body, not for your looks. You're 76 years old. You should be in a fucking nursing home. I'm sure that's what half of the women think as they sleep with you. Because all they're thinking of is getting a payday at the end of the night. Oh, I'm sorry. Did that hurt your little feelings, Ric Flair? Are you going to come after me too? Oh, trust me, I have a thicker skin. I also like a better wrestler than you would ever be. Because he's second generation, he knew the business, and he wasn't a fucking floundering asshole or slobbering drunk. Even if he had lived past the age of 44. He was almost 45. He would have been 45 in March. I'm sorry that I don't have a slobbering drunk as my favorite wrestler. Because Curt was a stand-up guy. He was a nice guy. He actually cared about his family and his kids. And they loved and adored him. I go on Twitter all the time. I don't know if they're real accounts or not, but Hank adores his dad. He says it on his profile, if that's really him, that he admires and loves his dad. I don't see that from David Flair. I don't see that from Charlotte Flair. Like I said, I don't know if these profiles are real or not. I don't even know if Joe is on X. I don't know if Hank is on X. I haven't seen anything from Amy or Katie. But again, Curt's kids loved him. They still admire him. They still idolize him. Can you say the same thing, Flair? Can you say the same thing? I'm sure that Curt's grandkids also idolize him, just like his kids do. Because they know that their grandfather was something spectacular. He was the greatest wrestler to ever live, in my opinion. And I'm sorry for everyone can hear that probably. Neighbor is mowing their lawn. Of course, they picked now to do it. But for heaven's sake, Ric Flair, you are not what you think you are. And yet you're bragging on X that you're the top shit. I'm still the man, huh? No, you ain't. No, you aren't. And the fact that you're bragging about being rich at 76, trust me, there are people that are out there struggling to make ends meet and they think you're a complete asshole. Maybe that's what you want. Good. You've done your gimmick proud. That you're a complete slobbering ass drunk who literally needs to be in AA. You have a problem, Ric Flair. You have a problem. All right, more of this.
That's what famous gets. Famous all in caps. And by the way, I don't recognize anyone in this conversation who is famous. So Ric Flair apparently closing the book on this whole discussion of his behavior.
A clear and concise declaration to the people that he had a contradictory opinion with there.
I tried to be nice to you, but I make more money than you. What?
Yeah.
And that's
and I spill more liquor than you.
I spill more liquor. That's right.
Again, that's not something
but he
to brag
spilled more
about.
Now he made
Again, it's not something to brag about that you have spilt more booze than any other person on the planet. Again, you need to be in an AA meeting because you have a problem. You have a big problem. All right, let's keep going with this because I got more to show.
more money to spend more. No, he spent more money on the liquor that he spilled than they made, or that they spent on the liquor they spilled.
God only knows that I've spent more money on spilt liquor in 1 year than people have in a lifetime. Just saying,
okay, so now wait a minute. Now that's what it is. That taking that as the grammatically correct statement. How much money do you think you've spent in your lifetime on spilled liquor, Brian?
oh, I spilled for free.
Oh, God damn it. I've just as okay, then how much do you think the average son of a bitch?
You know, to be very honest with you,
how often do you spill liquor?
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't really have too many occasions where I just spilled drink. Oops, there goes my drink. Maybe every now and then, like a little drop comes out because you're walking with a drink, but it's never like, oh, I spilled another one. Let me get another one. Oh, I dropped another one.
All over the rug. You slosh or you slosh.
It wasn't me. It was the Egyptian.
If you're walking back and forth in the bar or restaurant.
I like that, how they're kind of making light and making fun of Ric Flair. I mean, I get it. But there's so much stuff that they're missing out. And the fact that they won't point out that, Ric Flair has a problem and literally needs, help. He needs intervention. He needs to be taken to AA, because he has a problem. I know I talked to Angel Riviera, who is the host of Pro Wrestling Talk. Check us out every Saturday. Of course, if we're not on Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be on Sunday, or it's scheduled to change. So anyway, but I talked to Angel, and Angel was telling me that, he's surprised that Rick still has a liver at this point, because he literally has a problem. And it's sad to see this happen at 76 years old. And I wouldn't be surprised if he had dementia. I honestly would not be surprised if Ric Flair had dementia. It happens.
Restaurant, nightclub, whatever. You may be a slosh. Every once in a while, there's a josh, or a joust, or a fucking elbow in the ribs, and you spill or whatever. But I don't think that's a big.
Well, let's do the math.
It's like that for the average person. A lifetime of spilled liquor could be $72.48.
If that much, I guess let's do the math. If you buy 20 kamikazes, what were the 1986 prices for kamikazes?
Well, let's just use around $5.
$5 a kamikaze. You buy 20.
All right, wait a minute. My first thing is, are we doing Steiner math here, or are we doing Ric Flair math? All right, back to this.
Well, there's $100.
There's $100. How much spillage is going to happen from that? $1's worth?
Well, what if you're carrying the tray and you're drunk and you spill the whole thing? Then that could add up.
Yeah, I
didn't even think of that. Mass spillage. I didn't even think of that. I'm thinking drinking a time.
When you are slobbering drunk, guess what? You will tend to spill more beer when you're slobbering drunk and you have a problem and you are an alcoholic. So yeah, I can see where they're coming from. But again, I was like, wait, are we using Steiner math here? Or are we using what are we doing here?
I'm thinking drinking a time, not Ric Flair. Oh, I got 20 draws. Shit. Do you have to charge me? Yeah, we have to charge you. We just gave you all those and just spilled them everywhere.
I just don't know that. Again, I love Rick. I'm not sure that it's a compelling argument when you have to put your tax return up on the fucking post as part of the argument in defense of something that you said.
Well, I'm just glad that unlike Jim Ross, Ric Flair doesn't look for attention.
Right?
Unlike that dastardly Jim Ross always looking for attention with his cancer.
I hate JR the way he goes out dressed like Christmas packages all wrapped up, and that horrible fashion sense he's got, and all of the JR branded products like wings and weed and whiskey and
weed.
Antidepressants. I don't know what's going on.
I saw Jim Ross with an IV. He'll do anything for sympathy. Woo!
He looked at me as I walked by like he expected me to help him up.
He tripped on the liquor that was spilled.
Oh,
and now somebody's going to use as the headline, Jim Ross injured to slipping and Ric Flair denies intervention.
That's what he should open next. The Ric Flair slip and slide.
Oh, gosh. No.
It's fucking kamikazes being shot down the water slide. So if you go down belly first or feet first and on your belly, you can drink at the same time.
Nothing sent you for a ride like Wooski. Woo!
All righty then. Well, we wish all parties the best in this situation.
Of
And Rick is basically said this will be his final word on the subject, unless he forgets that he said this.
When you
he might say something else.
When you make $3 million a year at the age of 76, that's what famous gets.
Thought it was 3.6.
He said $3 million a year at the age of 76.
Oh, at the age of 7. I thought it was 3.6 at the age of 7.
All right. So, yeah, all I can say to that is, I mean, Ric Flair, you have a problem. You need psychological help or something. Either you have dementia or you need serious help, because you have a problem. And I mean, I hate to say it, but it's true. It is so true that he has a problem. He needs to, seek out help, because it's just, I actually feel bad for him. Almost. He did this to himself, but I honestly, I almost feel sorry for him. And again, sorry for the neighbor mowing their lawn. I honestly feel sorry for Ric Flair, because a little bit, because he's literally making an ass of himself, and he thinks he's killing it, All right. So let's move on to, this is Rick Rude versus Terry Taylor in what is this? May 2nd, 1992. Okay, so let's get that up for you. Share screen. Again, I'm sorry for the neighbor, but I can't help it. Let's see. Put the volume up. All right.
I'm playing one of those Nintendo games. Our Super NES. It's a 16-bitter, right? Yeah, man. They keep you up all night sometimes. Look at that hip action. And you wonder why Medusa hangs out with him, right? I'm not going to argue with you about...
Or Michelle would be pissed.
...stories that are obviously fabricated by Medusa and the Dangerous Alliance about Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Wait a minute. Did Steamboat or did he not strike her? He did. He did. Well, then, anyone who would strike a lady certainly would harass one. There's no doubt about it. You can't say that. And I know Ricky Steamboat. I know his family quite well. He is not that type of man. Rude going after it. Rude is Mr. Offense in WCW. Illegal blow right to the throat. Do you believe that Ricky Steamboat's a man of his word? Yes. Did he not promise he was going to take everything that belonged to Ravishing Rick Rude? Yeah. Okay, that includes the belt, and that includes Medusa. Okay. So either Steamboat is a liar or he's a luster, one of the two. Tailor-Made Man looking very sharp on a comeback on Ravishing Rick Rude here, and I know you like the Tailor-Made Man as well. Absolutely, this is a great matchup. Tailor-Made Man, mechanically one of the finest wrestlers in WCW, holding that arm bar, twisting it around now. Oh, putting the pressure on the wrist. You see how he's bending the hand up. The hand ain't meant to bend that far. You're right. Continues to apply the pressure right on the wrist of that full arm dragon twist, and Rude trying with a shortcut to get right to the ropes. The U.S. Heavyweight Champion will be part of War Games at Wrestle War, where he and his Dangerous Alliance, or the entire Dangerous Alliance, face Steamboat, Dustin, Barry, Sting, and Nikita Koloff. Anything goes, and you'll be there in Jacksonville, right at ringside. Absolutely, Jacksonville, Florida, the 17th. That is in 2 weeks, fans. Right now, though, Rude in this Nintendo Top 10 Challenge, going up to Taylor, then going right to the post. Well, the Tailor-Made Man made a mistake. He allowed himself to get too close to the ropes. Rude reached in, grabbed the leg, and rammed it in the post. And now you can see Ravishing Rick Rude, of course, sensing the injury to the Tailor-Made Man, going right after that leg with a series of kicks. Taylor, I think he's hurt. I know he's hurt. Illegal. You can't get your knee banged into the iron post, Shivani, and not be hurt. You know, the problem with most of you play-by-play men, like you and Jim Ross, is you've never felt any pain in your lives. You don't know what it's like to get rammed into a post.
Jesse does.
I've felt any pain in my life. What, if you had a baby?
Exactly. Good question, Jesse.
Yeah, he got plenty of Novocaine.
A right to the eyes, and Rude goes right back to the leg. He is relentless, and that is why he is ranked number 1. One of the reasons. Swinging neckbreaker, got it. Nicely done by Rude.
Well, I'll tell you here in WC, you may get in 1, 2, no. I'll tell you here in WCW, you may have the number 1 ranking, but there's not that much difference in ability between number 1 and number 10.
I would agree with that, Jesse, and I don't know. You and I are starting to agree a lot. That's dangerous. Right hand side of the head, return fire. Look at Taylor, back and forth. To the eyes.
He poked him, gave him the double barrel right to the eyes.
Yes. Oh, he hurt the knee again. He tried the atomic up.
Rude Awakening.
Rude got it. With a Rude Awakening out of nowhere.
3. All right. All right. No offense, but I just want to do as little editing as possible. Okay, so we will watch another one next week. And there's been a lot popping up for Rick. I add more and more every day, so pretty cool. Excuse me. Anyway, there's another one. I bet it's something about him, I guess. All right. Oops, not that one. Let me want this. Okay. All right. So let's move on to our next one. This one is Johnny B. Bad versus Barry Windham for the NWA title. And this is May 22nd, 1993. All right. Let's get that up for you. Here we go.
We ended last week's program with a tremendous amount of controversy surrounding the U.S. title. Rude has the belt. We will next week, we understand, try to solve the controversy, hopefully by talking to both Rude and Dustin Rhodes and to a WCW official.
I don't understand the controversy.
Well, the controversy was one shoulder was up from one man, one shoulder was up from the other.
Yeah, but the referee made the decision. He handed the belt to Ravishing Rick Rude. Rude has the belt in his possession. Like we just heard on Flair for Gold, possession is 9/10 of the law, right?
I don't know. I don't like Ric Flair.
About the law. You know a lot about the law, I know.
Well, it is. Rude has the belt. As far as I'm concerned, Ravishing Rick Rude is the U.S. heavyweight champion. But as you said, Tony, next week we'll get a ruling from the WCW officials.
Barry Windham and Johnny B. Bad set to go. We'll have more great information about what's coming up next week. Still to come in this program, but this is certainly the biggest moment of Johnny B. Bad's career here, Jim.
And he's probably facing the biggest opponent of his young career.
Look at this, slugging it out. Johnny B. Bad gets the advantage here.
Whoa.
Wow. What a tremendous move by Johnny B. Bad. Going after Windham, and Windham takes the low road.
Well, fortunately for Barry Windham, the NWA champion, he come down and he hit by the edge of the ropes, allowed him to shoot out between the ropes. And
young Barry Windham.
He's getting grief from the fans, and Johnny B. Bad getting the crowd up into a roar.
You know, this match is certainly, it's really one for the book, so to speak, if I can use that cliche, because here the computer picked Johnny B. Bad as the top contender to Barry Windham's title, when many men like Ron Simmons were very close in getting this title shot.
Well, I'll tell you, some of these computer spin-outs lately, I can only assume our computer's got a virus.
Well, I don't know.
I like that. Computers have a virus.
Just a couple of weeks ago, Eric Bischoff and Greg Gagne showed us what the computer had to say. Back to the ropes they go again.
They're our resident computer experts, huh?
Yes, they are.
Actually, I am.
And look at Windham now. Wyndham's trash talking Johnny B. Bad here.
Me.
Bad swinging the left hook. Ref going to make him open them hands up. This is wrestling. It is not boxing.
Certainly, Barry Windham has a great deal of experience advantage over Johnny B. Bad. As far as slugging it out, I would give the advantage to Johnny B. Bad as far as fisticuffs is concerned. But as you pointed out, Jesse, just seconds ago, this is wrestling.
I mean, you can sneak a closed fist in occasionally, which we all know Johnny B. Bad is notorious for doing that. The Tutti Frutti.
Tutti Frutti.
But you can bet Wyndham went.
Okay, just because he looks like Little Richard doesn't mean he is.
Took a couple big elbows there that make Barry Wyndham the champion.
Oh, Johnny B. Bad on the outside hit very hard, hit his hip that time. On the outside,
yeah, that had to hurt.
Now back in even more determined than ever. Slamboree is here this Sunday. And Wyndham sending Bad. Bad held onto the ropes. Nicely done. Snaps Wyndham over with a suplex.
Good reversal there by Johnny B. Bad. He used the ropes to his advantage, as you called it, Tony, and changed the tide of the match, and Johnny's got the advantage.
Missed the clothesline. Oh, Wyndham did not. He decapitated Johnny B. Bad that time, the big Texan. And Bad in major trouble here. We have to take a break. The NWA title continues on Worldwide, fans, after this timeout. Stay with us.
I just want to make sure. Okay. Back to the show.
We're back on WCW Worldwide Wrestling for the NWA title. Over the top goes Johnny B. Bad. On this Slamboree weekend, Barry Wyndham and Johnny B. Bad going at it for the NWA heavyweight title. The boot across the head of Johnny B. Bad. An argument between Mike Atkins and Barry Wyndham. Wyndham come in. And there's those body blows. But Wyndham absorbs them. Look at it, has his hands hooked right across the leg and sends him down the back suplex.
And a cover.
Wyndham again gets chased to Johnny B. Bad. Whoa, head first.
Head first into the boot. That's the advantage of being as tall as Barry Wyndham. You can get that foot up all the way on the top turnbuckle. Sleeper.
There it is, sleeper hold. Certainly Wyndham has a tremendous amount of animosity towards one Arn Anderson, but he cannot overlook this match for the NWA title on this Slamboree weekend. He could go to this Sunday's event without the strap.
And good golly, there goes Miss Molly. Down on his back, he's down and out.
Again, he's not Little Richard.
Referee gonna call it right now. Oh, look at Wyndham. Brilliant move, feet on the top rope. More leverage applied. Referee don't see nothing.
There you hear Mike Atkins warning of the ropes.
This camera guy's all over the ropes. What are you talking about?
He's blaming it on the camera guy for crying out loud.
Ask him, you have it all figured
Well,
out.
what would you do, Tony? Admit it? I'll bet you're one of them guys, Tony. You get caught speeding and you admit it, don't you?
No.
Yes, officer, I was doing 85 and a 65.
An argument ensues in the right hand now for Barry Wyndham. Fans, quickly want to remind you that next week Sting will be Ric Flair's guest on A Flair for the Gold. That's right. Next week here on Worldwide, Sting will join the Nature Boy and
I hated
PT.
both Sting and Flair.
And Bad is hanging up like an old caught salmon right here. Whoa, SuperClash, it's over.
1, 2, and Johnny B. Bad gets out of it.
I can't believe he raised up a shoulder on that.
Endurance was one of the factors here in the computer.
He made a liar out of me. I said it was over.
Right hand. Wyndham is sent into the ropes. Oh my! 1, 2, Wyndham. Oh, that was, do you realize how close Johnny B. Bad was to being NWA?
That was pretty close.
Johnny B. Bad came a half a count to scoring the upset of the year so far in '93.
No question about it. And now, trying to continue his momentum. He makes the cover again. 1, 2 again. Whoa. Bad inches, literally inches away from being the NWA champ. 1, 2, and the 2 count.
It's hard to keep Big Barry Wyndham's shoulders on the mat because he is just so long and lanky. He has so much momentum and leverage.
And now Johnny B. Bad with a high-risk maneuver. Wyndham is to his feet. Johnny waiting.
Whoa.
Got it. 1, 2.
Nope.
Oh my! The closest one yet. The closest one yet for Johnny B. Bad. Wyndham holds his ground. Missing a right hand. Oh, he moved. Bad. Like a guillotine. The top rope right across the throat.
Johnny B. Bad clotheslined himself when Wyndham dropped out of the way. Inside rolling cradle. He's got it hooked. Three.
All right. Wow. Okay, so Barry Windham keeps the belt. Wow. Awesome. Okay, so let's get ready for our main event. I'm just going to take a 5-minute break and get it all up for you. And I'll be back in 5. See ya. Okay, guys, and we're back. All right, for those who are watching on YouTube or you're listening on YouTube and you want to watch this on another tab, it is AWA SuperClash, and it's Season 2, Episode 1, AWA SuperClash 2. We're 48 minutes and 39 seconds in, so go ahead and press play now. Hey, there's Curt. This is 87, May 87, I want to say. Come on, Curt.
Get out.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce at this time, here with us today, the president of the American Wrestling Association and the chairman of the championship committee, Stanley Blackburn. This match is for the AWA World's Heavyweight Wrestling Championship. One fall with a 1-hour time limit. Referee Gary DeRusha. The challenger from Robbinsdale, Minnesota.
Hold on 1 second.
Oh, geez.
You're here, Blackburn. I'm glad you're here.
It's Larry
I
Sabisco.
want to make a public announcement that because I am the true #1 contender, that not only do I
Yeah, sure you
command,
are.
but I publicly challenge the winner of this match. I want a heavyweight championship shot with whoever wins this match. You've got it.
Once again, the challenger from Robbinsdale, Minnesota, at 241 pounds, Curt Hennig.
Woo! Curt.
His opponent from Beverly Hills, California, weighing 246 pounds, the AWA World's Heavyweight Wrestling Champion, Nick Bockwinkel.
Well, Larry Zabisco being told by the president of the AWA, Stanley Blackburn, that he will get a shot at the winner of this match, whoever it may be, for the tag team, I beg your pardon, for the heavyweight championship of the world, whether it be Nick Bockwinkel or whether it be Curt Hennig.
Did I miss something?
And as you may have seen as well, Sabisco, after receiving that confirmation from Stanley Blackburn, went first to Bockwinkel and then to Hennig to offer a handshake and could get none from either of the two contestants. This, of course, is not the first time that these two have gone head-to-head and shoulder-to-shoulder. Nick Bockwinkel and Curt Hennig I talk of. They had, of course, the classic confrontation at the Showboat Sports Pavilion in Las Vegas, Nevada,
last year that went the full 1 hour time limit and to a draw. One of the most outstanding, roughest,
We watched that on one of the
toughest,
specials.
and bloodiest wrestling matches I have ever seen in my life. And this one is underway now for the AWA Heavyweight Championship of the World. The championship belt, of course, in the possession of Nick Bockwinkel and the young man out of Dale, Minnesota,
Get him.
who had Bockwinkel in the head scissors there momentarily, would like nothing better than to take it away from Bockwinkel here at the Cow Palace in San Francisco.
Come on,
And
Curt.
again, it's a pleasure to have with me at ringside Ray the Crippler Stevens, who is indeed a full-fledged hero in the Cow Palace and the San Francisco area, where he was born and where he was raised, and where time after
Well, we'll
time.
be. I don't mind Ray Stevens. I just heard you don't. He has a temper, and you don't want to get on his bad side.
Attendance record here at the Cow Palace for a match against Pepper Gomez,
Oh.
where over 18,000 looked on. And Ray the Crippler
Come on,
Stevens,
Curt.
I know of no one who would know better the talents and the moves and the characteristic of Nick Bockwinkel, the champion, than yourself, as the two of you on 3 different occasions were tag team champions of the world.
Thank you very much, Rod. That's pretty true. This is for all the marbles. This is it. The big thing in professional wrestling, the World's Heavyweight Championship. Nick, a veteran, a great condition athlete. Curt Hennig, a veteran, and one of the best conditioned young athletes in the world today. And he's a big, strong young man, weighing right at 250. Nick Bockwinkel probably 250, 255. And I'll tell you, this is going to be a fantastic time.
Get him, Curt.
Indeed, it has all of the earmarks of a classic confrontation.
I was a year old when this came out.
I don't
so
believe that there's anything that either one of these wrestlers can do to surprise the other. There is move and there is counter move, and you have seen them here over the past seconds as I have been talking. Nick Bockwinkel on your right, Curt Hennig on the left for the championship of the world.
Oh.
Ooh, a slap in the face.
Oh.
And Curt Hennig is not going to take too highly to that, I would guess.
Really?
Well, you see right now what Nick's strategy is to get Curt Hennig's mind somewhere else. But I believe
Where was he going to take
it?
it?
Around a little too long to let something like that rattling that much. But when you're a champion, it takes a lot more than just being a good wrestler, because the best are coming at you all the time. And Curt Hennig is one of the best there is today.
Move and counter move, side hip block, takedown, and he couldn't get it 3 times in a row. The head scissors. We're talking Nick Bockwinkel now, as Curt Hennig tucked that head in, and Bockwinkel couldn't get the hold. And Hennig maintains the side headlock on the champion of the world.
Hennig, a very, very strong young man, too, Rod. You can tell by looking at him, he's put together very well. Has really made a name for himself in professional wrestling. He's wrestled all over the world, Japan, Australia, Europe. And in fact, he just came back from Japan a while back and was undefeated, had a very successful tour. And all this put together has made him the #1 contender in the world today. I'll guarantee you. My great and good friend and my former partner, Nick Bockwinkel, is going to have his hands full with this.
Takes a hard shoulder.
Come on, Curt.
Hennig. Takes a body slam from Hennig.
Uh-oh. Ah.
Great action here in SuperClash 2 for the championship of the world. Curt Hennig and Nick Bockwinkel.
Again, Rod, when you're the champion, they have to come to you. They have to beat you. So because Nick Bockwinkel is on the underneath side, doesn't mean he's losing. That means that he is a great defensive wrestler, and he can be very dangerous in his wrestling defense.
Ow.
Bockwinkel trying to power his way out of this hold, wrapping both hands around the head of Curt Hennig as Hennig hangs onto that side headlock. And it is
Come on,
Hennig's
Curt.
new endurance and strength that wins out this time around. Referee Gary DeRusha. outstanding referee in the AWA.
Come on,
he
Curt.
certainly has his hands full here in this one.
I think what makes Curt Hennig a little different than most of the younger wrestlers, Curt Hennig has a mean streak in him, Rod, and you have to have that to be a champion. You have to have a little bit of a mean streak in you. You can't feel sorry for anybody when you climb in that ring.
Absolutely not. You're there for one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to win. And you have to beat the man who is across from you. And in this particular instance,
if you're going to take his tights down, go for it.
he happens to be a champion of the world.
We would see a very nice sight.
Move and counter move. Arm drag takedowns by the champion.
Whoa.
3 of them in a row on Curt Hennig.
Get him, Curt.
A single leg pickup by Hennig. Fine headlock, Hennig, and toss. And he really clamps that headlock on Nick Bockwinkel.
And he's showing a lot of class. He's going right back after that neck. That neck, pretty soon Nick's head will start weighing like it's 100 pounds. And that's real smart, Rod. You can weaken a guy's body in one particular spot. It's going to help you tremendously.
Stanley Blackford, the president of the AWA, watching on very, very intently here at ringside. In case you have missed it.
You tell guys are drunk.
Zabisco
Come on, Curt!
Get down in a
Really?
tuxedo.
Wow. For sure Curt was laughing
A
inside.
shot at the winner of this for the championship. And Stanley Blackford assured him he would get that shot. Taking some shots right now. Curt Hennig from Bockwinkel. And then Hennig with a reversal to the other corner. Forearm smashes to the midsection and to the side of the head. That certainly had to rattle the cage of Nick Bockwinkel. And again, he clamps on that side headlock. Bockwinkel turns him around.
Ooh.
Hammers away. Reversal.
Oh!
Out goes Curt Hennig. And
Curt
it
missed.
looks like he may have hit that steel fence out there with his head. He has been stunned. That's for sure. Let's watch him and see if he can get back before the count reaches 10. It's at 3. Bockwinkel goes out on the apron after him.
Well, that definitely stung Curt Hennig. I guarantee you that took a lot out of him right now. You can't hit that concrete floor with your head in a steel cage like that without it taking something out of you. We're going to see what.
Ooh, he hurt his elbow. That's definitely not good.
You better be very careful.
Starting back in. Bockwinkel meets him at the pass and really clubs him. He really drilled him. And now he wraps that left arm around the lower rope strand and drops a knee onto the shoulder, and back out goes Curt Hennig. The champion certainly knows all the tricks, doesn't he?
Absolutely. If you notice all through this match, he's been after that left arm. Hitting his smart too. He's coming Bockwinkel, cutting that air down, making them neck muscles weaker.
I think Curt was saying some four-letter words there.
As the time goes on, Ray, does the tide switch in? And of course it switches very, very quickly. But I'm thinking about the youth that Curt Hennig has on Nick Bockwinkel. And the longer the match goes, is it more in Curt Hennig's favor as opposed to Nick Bockwinkel's?
Sit down.
Well, it could be.
Sit down,
Zabisco. Tremendous condition. I don't really think it'll have that much effect on him. Right now, Curt Hennig's got a lot to worry about. But like I said, he is actually.
Is that the best you can do?
He's looking on very intently, very closely, and moving over. And we may get a word or two from Larry Zabisco here very, very shortly. We may not have any choice in the matter. Zabisco is on our left. Zabisco now takes a chair.
Whoa.
As Nick Bockwinkel pounds Curt Hennig into the corner and then takes him to the center of the ring, flips him over on his back, and has an arm stretcher on him. And Larry Zabisco watching the action as you get a good look at him right there. Watching very intently what is happening inside that squared ring. And that is what is happening with Nick Bockwinkel working over Curt Hennig, having the knee along the side of the head and having the left arm of Curt Hennig wrapped up at the same time.
Larry sucks. Larry sucks.
Zbyszko
Larry
obviously is
sucks.
very,
I agree.
Normally, you know, he's always thinking way ahead.
Ah, he meant well.
I don't get along with him, but you have to give the devil his due. He's a tremendous wrestler, very intelligent man, and I don't know whether Bockwinkel or Hennig or somebody maybe ought to keep their eye on Larry Zbyszko.
Oh.
Well, he was over shouting in our direction, and whether he was shouting at you or not, I'm not sure. Here is Curt Hennig catching the champion coming off the ropes.
Oh.
But the champion catches him. And an arm drag. And back to work on that left arm of Curt Hennig.
You'll notice, Rod, Nick Bockwinkel has been working on that left arm, and I'm sure that shoulder is getting very numb by now, and so is that hand. If he takes the use of one hand away from Curt Hennig, that's quite a handicap.
You heard him. He's never give up.
Here at the Cow Palace in San Francisco by McWilliams Productions out of San Francisco. Rob McWilliams, Terry Niemoff, Brad Cochran, Carl Hudd. And you got to look again at Larry Zbyszko. Jim Davis handling the video here from the Cow Palace, and of course directing it all on the track is our man Mike Shield. Inside the ring, Bockwinkel working on Curt Hennig.
Come on, Curt.
Having a wrist lock. Hennig grabbing hold of the hair. Forcing Bockwinkel across the ring. Breaking the hold. Taking a hard shoulder block for the champion. Giving a knee for the champion. Caught him in the solar plexus. And now it is Hennig with a whip.
Oh!
Wow, pick cover here. Count of 1, 2. It looked like he should have had 3. However, somehow, some way, Curt Hennig was able to get that shoulder off the mat. That one looked like it was all over right then and there.
It sure did. It was awful close.
Come on, Curt.
What do you say, Hennig?
He's still after that left arm. He's putting some punishment on Curt Hennig right now. Curt's a tough young athlete, though. I'm sure he can handle it.
However, if indeed Bockwinkel is able to actually
He is more man than most wrestlers.
Fighter, Bockwinkel certainly has a tremendous advantage there, as again you see Zbyszko.
Bockwinkel being the champion, Rod, you can't sell him short on anything. And these two men are two of the greatest professional wrestlers in the world today, no matter where you go.
Absolutely. Bar none. Nick Bockwinkel, the champion. Curt Hennig, the challenger.
This is a short arm scissors, and this is really going to shut the blood circulation off in that left arm. I don't know how much longer he can hang on with this.
Again, as Ray the Crippler Stevens has pointed out, it is the left arm that Bockwinkel has wrapped up in that short arm scissors. And the circulation in that left arm has to be down to just about nothing by now.
Absolutely, and believe you me, Bockwinkel knows exactly what he's doing and where he's going there. I've been watching him for a few minutes now, and that's the object, is to take that arm away from Curt Hennig, and then he is really going to be handicapped.
Come on, Curt. This is a true wrestling match between two second generations.
Nick Bockwinkel, Curt Hennig. It's all part of SuperClash 2 here at the Cow Palace in San Francisco, California. As you got a shot there of the action as Larry Zbyszko is seeing it. That camera just over the shoulder. There you get another look. This is what Zbyszko and how he is seeing the match. This is how you and I are seeing it. And it is...
Come on, Curt.
Now
get him.
Drilling away on the champion.
Hiya.
And taking the legs out from under him. Shaking that left arm. Getting the circulation back. Shaking it again. There's the hamstring on the champion.
I'm sure that Curt figured it's enough time that he better start taking something away from Bockwinkel, and now he's going to work on that leg, which is very smart. You can also see that he doesn't have the full use of that left arm and hand yet.
Step over toe hold, spinning leg lock, trying to work it into a figure 4.
He has got it.
Oh, the figure 4.
And you hear the screams of Nick Bockwinkel. Bockwinkel saying no.
This, however, is not one of Curt Hennig's favorite holds, and I doubt if he has got it applied exactly right. Like some of the people who really practice this thing all the time. So I don't know whether
They can't do that. Stop manhandling the ref.
Who is a master of a hold such as this. No, it does not look like Curt Hennig has it locked in there exactly the way it should be, but nonetheless, it is a very, very painful hold regardless.
Absolutely it is. He doesn't have it locked down real the way it should be, or Bockwinkel wouldn't be moving, but he has made it to the ropes there, so he's going to get through.
Gary DeRusha twice kicking Bockwinkel's hand off that rope, but now Bockwinkel locks both hands on the lower rope, and the hold has been broken.
Gary DeRusha, a young referee, really does just an excellent job, doesn't he, Rod?
Absolutely, he is one of the very, very best, no doubt. The top referee in the AWA, certainly the pause there was, as I was thinking, who have I seen that's better? And there isn't anybody who falls into that category as Curt Hennig works over the left leg here of Nick Bockwinkel. Draping it over that lower rope strand, dropping down on top of it. Now a knee drop onto that left leg. Now he twists it around. Bockwinkel grabs a hold of the hair and pulls Curt Hennig off. Hennig right back to it again, however. Trying to apply the figure 4 again and lock it in there more firmly, but he never gets the chance. As Bockwinkel, knowing the deep trouble he would be in if he would allow that to happen, grabbed a hold of the hair, and Hennig was unable to lock it in.
Come on, Curt.
To the midsection.
This is hard to watch.
By the champion. The cover here by the champion. He gets a
Come on,
two count,
Curt.
and no more. Bockwinkel and Hennig. Hennig and Bockwinkel. Here is a knee into the solar plexus. And Hennig is cartwheeled to the mat as Larry Zbyszko looks on. It is Bockwinkel covering and getting a 2 count.
You can tell Bockwinkel's getting weak in that left leg, though.
They exchange thundering right hands. Both of them hit the deck. Bockwinkel first back to the attack. Bouncing the head of Curt Hennig off that top turnbuckle. A lot of people say that. Hey, there's steel underneath that padding.
Absolutely, you can get cauliflower ears on that turnbuckle in a hurry.
A hard shot to the head. Off the side headlock by Nick Bockwinkel, who is limping around that ring. As you look again at Larry Zbyszko looking on. Very, very intently. Not taunting either man. Watching both of them, I'm sure, because he has been promised a shot at the winner. And
no thanks.
Shots a tremendous one there by Hennig. Reversal here by the champion. The ring just about came apart as Bockwinkel whipped Hennig into that corner, sensing he has Hennig in trouble.
Come on, Curt.
Oh, it looked like 3. And there you see what Zbyszko has seen. Both of these men showing tremendous amount of endurance and resiliency. And he gets a count of 2 on the champion. Curt Hennig bouncing the head of the champion off that canvas, bouncing it again and turning him over. A cover here for Curt Hennig. Both men giving it absolutely everything they've got.
A hard shot here by Hennig. Bockwinkel certainly seems the worse for wear of the two. Staggering across the ring, swinging wildly with the right hand. Atomic drop here by Curt Hennig. The youth may be telling here. A rollover. It doesn't get any closer than 3-2-3, then back. And Bockwinkel answers back with a shot to the solar plexus. Bockwinkel now with a whip.
Miss.
Bockwinkel.
Hiya.
Flying crossbody. Again a 2 count. As Bockwinkel missed the clothesline.
Come on, Curt.
It was Curt Hennig ducking under the clothesline and then coming off the rope, slingshotting off the ropes with that flying crossbody. And now drilling it again, a somersault here by Curt Hennig, but again he can get only the 2 count.
It looks like Curt Hennig's got his second win here.
Wow. Indeed. He may be setting him up for the axe. Let's see. There it is. A cover again. However, here you see Nick Bockwinkel grabbing a hold of that lower rope, and the hold.
You let him out of the finisher.
Curt Hennig caught him with the axe. And now, is it the pile driver? It is. But again, the champion is over near the ropes. Curt Hennig, knowing he can't get the pin there, takes him to his feet. Oh, what a drop kick! Bockwinkel may be out on his feet. However, instinctively, he reaches back for that something that only the champions have, and is able to kick his way out one more time. Hennig drills him with the right hand, whips him across the ring. And Bockwinkel comes back with a clothesline of his own.
He pulled that one right out of the bottom of the barrel, didn't he, Roddy?
Oh, he did.
That's experience there that you're seeing, just instinctual experience.
The two of them simultaneously making their way to their feet. And the war goes on. Bockwinkel now picking up Curt Hennig, dropping him flat on his back.
Not the back, not the back.
To roll over and cover him.
Come on, Curt.
Front face lock, side headlock.
Whoa.
Shoulder lock here, Curt Hennig. But
Curt, come
both
on.
men indeed simultaneously on the deck again.
Now, what's he doing?
What's Larry Zbyszko got in mind as he is saying something here to Curt Hennig? Larry Zbyszko
I
is
can't
whispering.
believe this. What did Zbyszko do over there?
I don't know. All he did was he said something to Curt Hennig. Hennig comes up and hammers away. Count of 1, 2, 3.
All right, just a brief moment. Oh, he won! Go, Curt!
Larry Zbyszko had to give Curt Hennig something to punch Nick Bockwinkel that hard.
Wow.
I'm not buying this at
It's
all.
a sleight of hand.
Look at this. Look at Zbyszko going right to Curt Hennig.
The voice of experience here at ringside, Ray the Crippler Stevens. There you see Curt Hennig and Larry Zbyszko. They shake hands as the championship has changed hands here as the
Yeah, but it's controversial, so.
at the Cow Palace in San Francisco.
I cannot buy this. I'm going to go up and put my 2 cents worth in. I'm sorry, Rob.
I'm
but
sure
I
you
think
would.
that Larry Zbyszko passed Curt Hennig something there.
Ray the Crippler Stevens making his way to the ring. Stanley Blackburn is in the ring, saying something to referee Gary DeRusha. And now Ray the Crippler Stevens is saying something. Meantime, you see Curt Hennig very, very proudly wearing that championship belt and raising both hands in a sign of victory as Ray the Crippler Stevens and Stanley Blackburn, the commissioner and president of the AWA, talk to the referee. And now it is Ray the Crippler Stevens tugging away at Larry Zbyszko and pointing to a bunch of coins, apparently, that Zbyszko somehow has had in his possession. As you can see there.
Who doesn't have money in their pocket? I'm just saying. I'm just saying, right? Well, maybe back in '87. Nowadays, everyone's got a credit card, right?
Curt Hennig, as Hennig was laying there on the canvas, and Zbyszko went over and said something to him.
That's right. You are.
Still, the conversation goes on inside that ring. Gary DeRusha has summoned the ring announcer into the ring. And we will be listening here as to what announcement is to be made after this confab between Stanley Blackburn, Ray the Crippler Stevens, and referee Gary DeRusha. And now Larry Zbyszko pushes Ray the Crippler Stevens away, and Stevens does not take highly to that, I'll tell you.
Yay, Kurt.
Look at the tape and see what he was doing.
We're going to hold up the title. I don't know if you can hear that, but it said they're going to hold up the title because they don't know what happened. They're going to do an investigation.
The referee counted the man 1, 2, 3. He beat Bockwinkel right into the ring. What the hell, Blackburn? You got no silver platters left? The camera caught it, and we're going to have to go over.
Camera caught what?
I know you're in love with Nick Bockwinkel.
Kurt going like this?
Believe this all over the hill washed up chart. The belt is held up. Neither man is champion. The championship committee can review the tape.
Yeah. They're going to take the belt from Kurt. Kurt's like, no.
Well, whether or not you have heard Ray, or rather the commissioner, Stanley Blackburn, make that announcement that the championship belt will be held up until the championship committee has a chance to review the tape. The belt has been taken from the waist of Curt Hennig in the ring, but he still has possession of it. Hopefully, we will be able to get comments from both Curt Hennig and the champion, Nick Bockwinkel.
Curt Hennig got wrestled up and he beat him right in the middle. What's the matter over the hill, guy? You can't face him.
And you're hearing the words of Larry Zbyszko also as confusion reigns supreme in the ring. Somehow, some type of an alliance has been formed here.
President of the American Wrestling Association is going to take the championship back and hold it in escrow until
that's so
the championship
awful.
committee can review.
That is so awful. Kurt's like, what? I didn't do anything.
And Nick Bockwinkel has snatched the championship belt back from Curt Hennig, but the belt has also been taken from Hennig by referee Gary DeRusha and given to the commissioner Stanley Blackburn.
No, it's Kurt's belt.
To get a hold of both Curt Hennig and Nick Bockwinkel if we can.
We'll watch Kurt's interview, and then I have a special surprise for you.
Inside that ring right now, Kurt
Whoa!
trying to get the belt from Stanley Blackburn, who has tossed it onto the floor, or may have simply dropped it onto the floor from the right of Curt Hennig.
Even the crowd
And
agrees
Stanley
that Kurt should have
Blackburn
it.
is slowly coming from the ring and coming over in our direction.
Wow!
Get him,
And they're not,
get
you know,
him on
cutting
Stanley.
it. They're not cutting that
Stanley.
out. Wow.
Nick Bockwinkel, Commissioner Blackburn. The announcement again. You are holding the championship belt.
We're going to hold the championship belt so the committee can look at the tape, the film of it, and then we'll make the decision. But as of right now, neither man is champion.
So we
That's
do
so
not
awful.
have a champion in the
Kurt won.
AWA
1,
right
2,
now.
Not at the
3.
moment. It won't take but a couple of days to review the film, but as of
Couple
right
of
now,
days.
no champion.
All right, you have heard from the commissioner, Nick Bockwinkel. Nick, champ. Whether or not the word champ still pertains, I am not sure. The belt is being held by Stanley Blackburn. How do you see all of this?
All I know is my lights went out. Now I was taking the best that this man had to offer. And I mean, I got a good butt kicking, but I hung in there and I stayed in there. And his 10 or 15 years junior to me didn't seem to make that damn much difference. So
Yeah,
I'll
it
say one
did.
thing. All of a sudden, my lights go
You're
off.
just
Now,
mad
I don't
because
think
Curt
anything of this, except what? He caught the greatest Sunday punch he ever had, and then all of a sudden, everybody's saying Zbyszko, of all people, slipped something to Curt Hennig. I don't
didn't.
see this, and as I
Actually
understand,
did, but it's again sleight
questionable
of
how many
hand.
other people saw it. but
I
the
would be
question
surprised
is
if
to
they
begin
just
with.
pretended.
I can only say
Like, you
one
know,
thing.
like Curt just
Then
pretended to go
Ray
like
Stevens,
this.
as I noticed, pulls Zbyszko's hand out of his pocket and a damn roll of dimes
Whoa!
falls in there. Now, I'll tell you what.
You can't say that
I
on
don't
TV.
like the fact that nobody's got the title, but
I guess you
will
can say
go
it on
along with
pay-per-view.
this, only in this sense, to see Zbyszko and Hennig, who seem to be newfound friends.
Yeah, really. Come on.
Nick Bockwinkel
Get him, Curt.
going at each other right in front of me.
Yeah, that's right. The referee counted you down, Bockwinkel.
And the other referee, Gary DeRusha, is also there. Ray the Crippler Stevens is there. As the championship belt is being held by the commissioner. It had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, he had nothing to do with it. He was off pretend.
He's a wealthy man. Why would he carry a roll of dimes or quarters or whatever it was around in his pocket?
Why wouldn't he? I used to carry change around with me all the time, and I wasn't
his
wealthy.
decision. The belt
This is back in
again
'87.
the
They didn't
hands
have credit
of
cards.
the
They didn't
commissioner,
have
Stanley
digital
Blackburn.
IDs. They don't have that stuff.
The words of
I agree,
I
Curt. It
guess
was a
we
crock
have
of
to call him
shit.
the champion until otherwise. We'll see if we can get Curt Hennig down here. Curt, there
Hey,
is
Curt,
no
talk to us.
champion.
Curt,
There is
come
no
here.
champion right now. Gary DeRusha.
That's
The words
right.
of Gary DeRusha, the referee. I know this is a very, very difficult time for you to talk, Curt Hennig. What happened? Did indeed
what everybody saw what happened.
I'll ask you flat out. Did Larry Zbyszko give you something?
Larry Zbyszko had nothing to do with this match.
The referee just admitted, as far as he's concerned,
Blah, blah,
Curt
blah,
Hennig
blah.
is the heavyweight champion of the world. You saw it. 1, 2, 3.
Well, if the ref says it, then it should be final.
According
But
to him, Curt Hennig beat him. I know Parker's on his silver platters for his brown-nosed friend. Gentlemen, justice here. My lawyers are going to have a field day.
lawyers.
This shouting match.
I turn around.
Oh,
Who needed to hear from that guy anyways?
That's exactly what's going to happen to anybody else who tries to stand in the way of the heavyweight champion of the world, and that's Curt Hennig. The decision was 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring, and I got nothing else to say, Bockwinkel, but I am the heavyweight champion of the world, and you know it.
That's right.
Hennig, Larry Zbyszko.
All right. So we're gonna stop that. Stop sharing. Okay. And I have a bit of a surprise for everybody. So let me take another 5-minute break and I will be right back with you. Okay, guys, and we're back. So one last thing. I promise this is the last thing because we are way over time. I just want to literally show you exactly what happens in this investigation. Yes, they had an investigation. Yes, I do have it. So I'm going to go ahead and hit play. We're only going to watch Curt's side of it because, I mean, the investigation happens and they decide what they decide. So we're only going to watch Curt's side of it. Okay, here we go. Press play. Little bit of an audio problem there.
Viewed the tapes over and over again. They have come up with one answer, that Curt Hennig is the heavyweight champion of the world. And if Larry Zbyszko would have handed me anything, it would have showed up on the film. Certainly not. Larry Zbyszko had nothing to do with it.
Let's take a look at that film right now, each and every one of us. You tell me what's going on. Here comes Larry Zbyszko. What's he doing there?
Well, right here, Larry, I'm knocked out myself halfway here, and what Larry Zbyszko is doing at ringside, I have no idea.
Here comes his hand. Now, I want you to explain. Now, watch this very carefully, if you would.
Watch what?
Larry Zbyszko.
So he came up, stood at ringside, said a few words to me. I'm not even sure exactly what he said. I was a little bit knocked out myself. I had just wrestled for 20 minutes, and I knew he was there. I looked up at him, and
right here, it looks like a possible exchange. Now, Larry Zbyszko.
Larry, that shows nothing, in my opinion, and obviously, in the opinion of the championship committee, that shows nothing.
That could have just been like a pretend thing, too. It could just be Curt just doing this.
Larry Zbyszko handed you a weapon. You got up, you took Nick Bockwinkel out with one punch. That's never been done before.
Well, that's never been done before because Curt Hennig's never been in the ring and had the opportunity. I saw the opening. His chin was wide open. I laid one on the chin, and out he went.
Now, let me understand this fully. You are saying right here, right now, that there is no connection whatsoever of any kind between Curt Hennig and Larry Zbyszko.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Larry Zbyszko and Curt Hennig have no connection whatsoever. He stumbled up by ringside there, maybe said a few words of encouragement. I'm not exactly what he said, but I am the heavyweight champion of the world.
I'm wondering if there's a whole lot you do remember about this incident. Things seem to be... Let's talk about your change in style. Not long ago in Minneapolis, an exchange between you and Greg Gagne that was shocking.
Well, the exchange between Greg Gagne and myself, this has been brewing for years and years and years. You know, here in the AWA, it's always been Vern Gagne this, Greg Gagne that. Well, there's been another group of people in town, and they're called the Hennigs. And the Hennigs have been in the AWA and professional wrestling as long as the Gagnes. And all I did in that situation is do exactly what the Gagnes had coming to him. I put him in his place.
A little bit later on, ladies and gentlemen, you are going to see that altercation between Curt Hennig and Greg Gagne.
This is mine. It's going to stay here for a long, long time. I want the people to recognize Curt Hennig, heavyweight champion of the... So we're going to stop sharing there. Well, that is the end of our program. As you can see, even though it ended in controversy, Curt obviously got the belt because they didn't find anything. They didn't see anything. Honestly, I think it might have been a sleight of hand, or it was just like, you know, Larry Zbyszko just did this and Curt just pretended that there was like a roll of dimes in his fist or whatever. I'm not sure exactly how that went into effect there, but looks like nothing to me, right, guys? All right, well, we are way over time, guys, so I will see you here back next week for another episode of Nobody Beats Curt Hennig, Nobody, and I hope everyone has an awesome week. Also, the shameless plugs are coming up next, but I just wanted to say for my other show, if you are interested in having a personal reading with me, that is a personal tarot reading with me, it is $30. My links are on, the links are down in the description field. They are also on Twitter. If you would like to have a personal reading, give me a few days, like maybe 1 or 2 days to really connect with you. But they are going $30 per question. So please send me your name and your question in a DM, or you can ask me for my email in DM. Again, all Twitter stuff and links are in the description field. But if you are interested, because they are going like hotcakes, guys, $30 per question. If you'd like to do that with me, again, pay me with Cashapp or PayPal. Remember, if you use PayPal, to use the family and friends link. And also send me your name and ask me for my email, or send me your name and your question through Twitter. All right, that's it for me, guys. Remember, everyone, nobody beats Curt Hennig, nobody, and nobody beats Mr. Perfect, nobody. See you guys. Hey, Curt Hennig fans, hello, and welcome to the Shameless Plugs. I wanted to do an updated version because I no longer have Patreon. I don't know if anyone has seen, and down in the description field, the first shameless plug I would like to do is for my Cash App and my PayPal account. If you can donate, please, please, please donate today. I actually had one donation, but that was more for my birthday. So anyway, if you can donate, please see the links in the description field for my PayPal and my Cash App. I'd like to start off by saying also, and I will say this at the end, I have an AI outro that is AI generated. I actually made a country song dedicated to Curt. I made several. Just in case, there also maybe in the future or right now is going to be an AI intro. So I just want to let you know that the intro also could be AI, and this is for Amazon. This is for YouTube only. YouTube only. So the first shameless plug I would like to do is Kit Cabello. He is one of my great, great friends. I love him to death. And what a great man, great guy, all around great friend as well. You can catch him on Heartlands Media. That's 9 a.m. Central, Monday through Friday. And he will tell it like it is. Trust me, he will tell it like it is.
Can't say enough great things about Kit Cabello. Also, check out Angel Riviera. He is in Angel in the Afternoon, and of course, he is my host for Pro Wrestling Talk. Pro Wrestling Talk is every Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, though those are scheduled to change due to family issues or WrestleMania or a pay-per-view. Also, I would like you to, but definitely check out Angel in the Afternoon. It is 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And he also tells it like it is. Way to go, Angel. Okay, on to deconstructing topics. My big brother, Dave. I can't say enough great things about Dave. He is a big supporter of mine, and I'm a big supporter of him. If you check out Deconstructing Topics, he has his own show. I'm not sure what episode he's on right now, but he has a great podcast. Please, please, please listen to it. You can check it out on YouTube. I don't know if he's on Rumble, but I'll see if I can get a Rumble link. All these links are in the description field if you want to check these people out. Also, I'd like to mention my little kid brother, Alex Knight. We are actually not really related, but I see him like a little brother. So anyway, Alex Knight, you can find him on Angel in the Afternoon. You can also catch him on Pro Wrestling Talk. And I think he's going to do a baseball podcast with Angel as well. So check that out. That'll be on Sundays. I'm not sure the time. I'll have to get that from Angel later. But I just want to make sure that you check him out because he is a great person and someone I can call friend and little brother. The next shameless plug I'd like to do really fast is Black Magic Talk is my other show, guys. If you would like to check that out, all you have to do is click the link in the description field, and blessed be to you if you are also a witch, wizard, or warlock, or whatever you call yourself. You can check that out in the description field. We have a lot of fun over there. I love to have on special guests, especially Sonia Smith. She's a very dear friend of mine. I hope you will subscribe to all these people on YouTube or on Rumble. We are also on Rumble. The Rumble description field, the link is in the description field. Sorry. If you would like to check that out, this will be going on YouTube, of course, because I don't need this for Rumble. I could put it on Rumble. I think I might. So if you are on Rumble watching this and you would like to see the YouTube version of this, it's mostly audio that you will see, except for this part, right? Just check us out on YouTube. The link is in the description field. And again, if you want to check out Black Magic Talk, you can check that out too, where we talk everything pagan and Wiccan. There is no evil or black magic, of course. It's all great fun, and we have a good time. If you like a personal tarot reading from me, click the link in the description field below. I can get you my, my pricing and stuff. If you would like to be a guest on the Black Magic Talk, or if you'd like to be on Pro Wrestling Talk, you can DM me on X. My X is in the description field for both Black Magic Talk and for Curt Hennig podcast. Go ahead and hit those in the description field and DM me, and feel free to ask if you'd like to be a guest. If there's anything else, concerns, or if you would like to just give feedback, you can always DM us on X and so on. Just want to mention my Cash App and my PayPal account are in the description field. If you can give to the show, great. If not, please enjoy the show. That's what we are mainly here for, just for your entertainment purposes only. And again, I will reiterate that the AI outro song is AI generated. That is for everyone, for Rumble and for YouTube. Also, there could be an AI intro song. Just want to let you know that if there's ever an intro song, it is AI generated on YouTube. I created a couple of songs here and there, a couple of country songs I think that Curt would like. So I hope you check those out. And remember, everyone, nobody beats Mr. Perfect or Curt Hennig. Nobody.
In a small town gym with wooden floors, he'd lace up his boots, he'd settle the scores. With a suplex or a lariat, he'd stand tall. Curt Hennig, the hero we all recall. Oh, Mr. Mr. Perfect, the man we admire in the wrestling ring. He set hearts on fire. From the farm to the glory, he took his stand. A true country legend, the perfect man. Through the cheers and the bright spotlights, he wrestled his dreams on countless nights. With a fisherman's carry and a confident grin, Curt showed the world the warrior within. Oh, Mr. Perfect, the man we admire in the wrestling ring. He set hearts on fire. From the farm to the glory, he took his stand. A true country legend, the perfect man. Humming the ballads of a heart so strong, where the echoes of victory always belong. He taught us that life is a fighter's game. Curt Hennig, forever framed in fame. In the hours of wrestling, his name remains. Curt Hennig, who broke through the chains. From Minnesota